Hey, second grade social studiers! It's Miss Haverstick, and I'm here with my good friend, Mr. Music Man Sam. Thanks for being here, Mr. Music Man Sam.
Thanks for having me, Miss Haverstick. This is great.
Second grade social studiers, we've been learning so much about responsibility and responsibility with community jobs. We know that community jobs are all about responsibility, getting really important things done, and taking care of everyone in the community. Now, second grade social studiers, Music Man Sam has a really cool community job. He's a musician. Mr. Music Man Sam, can you tell us what are the responsibilities of being a musician?
Well, there's a lot of responsibilities because musicians have their own community of musicians, but then the community of everyone else who listens to music. So it's our job to communicate with each other about what music we're going to make, whether it's on an album, whether it's at a party, whether it's with some friends. And then we take the music that we've learned from one another and share it with people who are the listeners of music.
Wow.
And so if we don't practice, we don't make good music. And if we don't try to go out and play music, then people can't hear music. If we don't make music, then other people can't hear it either. So it's our job to figure out what kind of music people want to hear, figure out how to play that music, and then play it for them and make them happy.
Oh my goodness. Second grade social studiers, did you hear that? Mr. Music Man Sam is a musician, and he's so responsible for working with other musicians and people who listen to music. He figures out what kind of music people want to hear. He works to write that music and then play it for people to enjoy. How many of you really like to listen to music? I know I do. So does Mr. Music Man Sam.
I like listening to it and playing it.
Oh, Mr. Music Man Sam, that is so cool. Can you show us some of your cool musician tools?
Sure. So one of the things you need is a guitar. This guitar is an electric guitar because currently it's plugged into an amp. So if I turn off the volume,
it's harder to hear, isn't it?
If I turn up the volume,
wow.
And then some other instruments I have are not just guitars, but other instruments. Sometimes I have to play music with friends and use different things. If I'm playing bluegrass or country music, I have to use a mandolin. And other times, instead of using just a mandolin, I'll even use an acoustic guitar, like this one here, where I don't necessarily need an amp for it because it's so loud on its own. So I have lots of different types of instruments and musical tools because I have to make lots of different types of music. And one of the things I do is work in a studio where we make albums that people listen to. And just a few weeks ago, I was playing a lot of folky and country music. But then the next week, I was playing a lot of gospel and R&B music. So you have to have different tools for different things. But whenever I'm sitting around in my free time, I either like to play electric guitar or acoustic guitar. But those are some of my musical tools.
Mr. Music Man Sam, that is so cool. My second grade social studiers and I love listening to music, and I can tell that you are so responsible. It must have taken a lot of hard work to learn how to play all of these different kinds of instruments.
It did.
Wow. Being a musician
really easy to do something that you don't really like for the rest of your life. A lot of people do that. It's called 9 to 5. But there's other great things you can also do. Some people love doing certain 9 to 5s because they love the thing they're doing. For me, sometimes my music job is a 9 to 5, but I love doing it. And so that's what makes it so great.
Yes, that is awesome. We know that there are so many different kinds of community jobs, and it's so cool that we get to find the one that we want to be responsible for. Wow. Music Man Sam, how did you decide that you wanted to be a musician?
My parents were musicians. And growing up, my parents had a little Elmo guitar that I would use when my dad would be playing guitar, and I'd pretend to be playing along. And I had a lot of friends that played music and older siblings that played music. My older brother was a drummer, and I definitely wanted to play music, but I didn't want to be just like him. So I figured I'd play the guitar like my dad. And I just really, really liked the guitar a lot. And now it's what I play.
Wow. That is so super cool. Well, second grade social studiers, let's give Mr. Music Man Sam a big round of applause. Mr. Music Man Sam, thank you for teaching us all about the responsibilities of being a musician. Learning how to play different instruments, working with other musicians and people who listen to music, just like me in my second grade social study years.
Oh, yeah.
Wow, so very cool. Thanks for being here with us.
No problem.
Second grade social studiers, go ahead and log on to Google Classroom and show us what you learned about the responsibilities of being a musician. We'll see you later.